and then we did this, we got some art from our art team. Well, that's pretty. So we put that up, and the response was awesome. I mean, people were like, "Oh my God, I'm actually excited about this game now. It's a piece of trash that you've been showing for 3 months." So the art sells it. Nobody cares until it's got good art. It's sad. It's sad, but true. That's some student tips. Here's some game design tips. These are really random. It's weird. Click and carry versus click and drag. This is game design tips for kids, because that's what we really focus on. Click and carry versus click and drag. A lot of people will get you to do kids games, and if you haven't done any kids games yet, it might be something that you want to look into, because Canada excels at kids stuff. We're really great at preschool stuff, and the preschool content that we make gets sold all over the world, and we're really known for that. Us in the UK are really known for it. Is that grammatically correct? We, the UK, and we, us, are. We love kids stuff, and it sells really well. So a lot of times these people with broadcast licenses will get a fund called the Bell Fund, and they'll have some money to build games around their thing. And they'll go to vendors who know how to make games, and they'll say, build some kids games for us. So, kids games tips. A lot of them ask for click and drag. They'll be like, oh, you got like little Susie, and she's got to dress up to go out into the wintertime. And what clothes do you put on her? You've got summer sandals and a hat. I can't believe what we're teaching kids. Come on. How dumb does a kid have to be? So what they want you to do is hold down the mouse button and pull the thing over and drop it on the little puppet of Susie. Put the sandals on her, and that really stinks for a little kid, because little kids don't have the motor control to be able to do that. So click and drag is really not an appropriate action for a young kid. I'm talking preschool, like 4 years old. So click and carry is where they click the mouse button and the thing sticks to their mouse cursor, and they can lift their finger up and move the mouse anywhere they want, and then they click again to drop the thing. So that's a much better mechanic for little tiny kids. And I even find that with some uninitiated people and non-gamers and people who aren't used to user interfaces, click and carry is actually a better option than click and drag. When you do preschool stuff, it sounds obvious, but you need to voice over everything. Anything that's written is complete Greek. It's not even Greek because they don't know Greek because they're 4. So anything that's written absolutely has to be voiced over. This is what makes preschool stuff can be more expensive than stuff for older kids. And this is what makes you really want to keep the language to an absolute minimum. I was actually showing my daughter this game and said, hey, play this fun game, it's cool, it's got an animal, I don't know, it's not bullshit, you'll like it. So she sat down, and it was just like this big instruction screen. Like, what the heck? She's 4, what? So I guess I'm supposed to sit with her and read this. So lap time gaming, that doesn't actually exist. Lap time gaming is where the parent and the kid sit there, and the parent is all nurturing and explains everything that's going on the screen, reads all. That doesn't happen. I mean, I consider myself a good parent instead of a negligent parent, but I still leave my kid on TVO Kid. Go have fun, see you in a couple of hours, right? So the lap time gaming, most parents just don't have the resources. That computer time is the time when they can actually get vacuuming done, and their kid's not tearing the couch cushions apart. So voiceover, everything for little kids. Just generally, in game design, control is fun. The more control the player has over the game, without going to crazy extremes, the more fun that they're going to have with the game. And I find that, especially with younger players, what they really want to do, and all they really want to do, is if you've got a game and it's about a character, they want to control that character. It's not cool if you've got a game and they've got that character, and that character's head is like in the side of the screen, and it's a bowling game. I don't want that as a kid. I want to be that character, and I want like a platformer experience. I want to run around as that character. I want to jump. I want to do what that character does. I want to talk in that character's voice. And you see that with little kids when they play with little people or action figures. They're personifying that character. They're being that character. Or even when they don't have toys with them, they say, "Let's play cops and robbers. I'll be the cop." I don't know what they're playing, pimps and hoes. I don't know. It's times have changed in modern day. But I'll be the pimp. You be the hoe. I have little kids. I really worry about what they're doing in the schoolyard. But it's all role play. And in a game, that's really what you want to be able to do. If you can get a hold of that character and move that character around, you're having more fun. Mario games are lauded because of their control over everything. Player affects the outcome, player has fun. The player ever feels like they're not affecting the outcome, if it's something like Risk and they can't see the dice roll behind the 2 armies coming together, and it just seems like it's just random, even when it is diced, it is random, but if they feel like You let them roll the dice. You know, it's still completely random, but they feel like they've done something to affect the outcome of the game, and they feel that that reaction is more fair than if they just sort of like hit a button and magic stuff went on behind the scenes and their army lost. 5 minutes, man, I gotta talk faster. Brand strength trumps your execution. If you've got a really strong brand, don't make a good game, because kids don't care. I was working on a Beyblade game, it sucked, but they loved Beyblade so much they were like, this is the best game ever, and they got a bazillion plays. Front of house is half the battle. I'm from a theater background, so we call front of house everything that you do in a theater before you actually sit down in the seat and watch the play. So the ticket taking and buying drinks outside of the lounge, blah blah blah. So in a game, that's your title screen, your intro screen, your credits, all that stuff is really really slick. People are going to have a better experience. Your game can actually be kind of trash, but if the wrapper and the polisher on it are really 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 excellent, that'll set you apart from people whose front of house is bad. Mouse control trumps keyboard control. I got this from the Gamer Safe people. If you can make people use the mouse or the keyboard, you will get more people playing because more people are more comfortable with the mouse. Your grandma doesn't know what WASD is. So if you think that WASD is, oh, everyone just gravitates to word WASD. Nobody does, only we do. And that's only out of the pedigree of first-person shooters, which not everybody plays. Use the mouse, it's a good idea. And don't make a player switch between mouse and keyboard. That's really confusing. Strangely enough, it really confuses people in IT games. I don't know if you ever played a game where it's like keyboard control, keyboard control, keyboard control, click OK to continue. I'm here. Maybe we could go all the way over there. The mouse is all the way over there. Okay. It's like, okay, press up to move. Oh crap. The mouse. Okay, it's a bad idea. Inconsistent escalation increases gameplays. This is weird. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. So that's like Pac-Man in every Atari 2600 game. This is the one modification you want to make to these games. They're like, it starts easy, and then it gets bitchin' hard, as you go up, right? Bad plan, because people get to like level 7 and they're like, oh my god, I just had an aneurysm trying to get past that level. Level 8 will surely destroy me. And they're like, screw this game, I'm turning it off. So this is what you want to do. This is like the smart thing. It gets harder, 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 and people are like, oh, crap, oh my god, and then, you get a little bit of a reprieve, right? The difficulty goes down for the next level, and there are fewer monsters in your tower defense game. I think I can stick with this, this is cool. Oh my god, it's getting a little bit harder again, I don't think I can possibly, oh, phew, I'm kicking this game's ass, this is fine, oh my lord, oh no, right? So that's what you want to try to do. That's a tip I got at GDC, it's really cool. I haven't put it into effect yet, but I've seen games that have done it, and I've stuck longer with the game. And if it's an ad-supported game, you want people to stick longer so they'll see more ads and you get more money. Game jams simulate the internet. In the internet, there's just a big pile of games, and you flip from one to another. At the end of the game jam, depending on how it's organized, all the games are there, and I hope everybody gets to walk around and play the games, and they flip from one to another. And it's crushing to see somebody sit down at your game and look at that wall of text you have at the instructions page and be like, I've patched it, I'm going to play this game. Oh look, you can click and the ball bounces. So you really want to, that distills the experience of any player on the internet down to a reality where they want to sit down, get your game instantly, and be able to have fun immediately. Game jams will teach you that. People have short attention spans, they need to get it. No text. I had this game, so here's the idea of bloat. I made this at a game jam a year ago. So here are a bunch of these different monsters. It's green, blue, and red. The monsters, you can make them bigger or smaller when you drag up and down on them with the mouse. A big monster will eat a small monster. And then we got this little rock, paper, scissors things going on, right? So, blue monsters eat red monsters and they poop coins. But if a red monster eats a blue monster, there's no coins, right? And then like a green monster eats a blue monster, and then it keeps going in the circle, right? And if the right monster eats the right coin, then it poops. And then we've got this color changing thing in the middle. You hit that button and they walk through it and they change colors. And then you can click and drag the monster and you can make them go upside down and they'll crawl underneath the platform so you can make monsters avoid each other. And it's like, oh man, this game's gonna be awesome. Nobody's gonna know what the heck is going on when they sit down to play it. So what I did was I split all the functionality up into levels. So in the first level, it's like, hey, click and drag to make the monster bigger or smaller. And the player's like, huh? I was like, you win! Fantastic! And they're like, oh yeah, I guess I'm pretty awesome. Level 2, a big monster eats a little monster. They're like, oh yeah, I think I can catch on to this. Chomp, yeah, you know, I'm a pretty awesome player. So you make a player feel really good for doing something stupid, right? And then you ease them up until level like 13, and oh, those noodles, by the way, they go into the noodles and they come out the other side, and then they get bigger, so it auto-sizes the monsters. It goes crazy. So I work them up to this, so that by the time they get to this step, they're like, oh yeah, I'm like master of blow. I can finish this no problem. A little bit hairy. So that's something I recommend. Finally, a couple of business tips. Learn data processing, parsing, sorry. That's where you've got stuff written in an XML file, and you learn how to bring that data into your game. This is useful for a million different things. It's useful if you've got saved game information stored in like if you're using Flash, there's like a Flash cookie, and then you're able to bring it back up and parse it and inflate it into useful information for your game. It's great if you've got XML stuff, because if your game is multilingual, did I say something? Yeah, language independent games. FPIGs can account for 40% of revenues. FPIGs is, used to be EFIGs, and now it's like EFPIGs. They have French, Portuguese, Italian, German, and Spanish. So man, if you make a bunch of different files and they're external to the game and they're all in different languages, you learn how to parse those external XML files and just inject the data into your game into all those dynamic text fields, then you can make a bunch more money than you would have with just English. 2-ish minutes. 2-ish. I'm 2-ish on my mother's side. Game engines with external logic. We've got one that's really cool. It's a graphic adventure game. And all the logic from when you talk to the characters, all their lines, even like what happens when you click on stuff, all of that's described in an XML file, which is crazy. And then we bring the information in and we parse it, so we're able to figure out what the game engine's supposed to do when they click on a thing, right? So it's really good. Control panels, customers are dumb, or they're not tech savvy, so they can't figure out how to write XML files, even though XML is pretty simple. So you can write all your information in an XML file and then wrap that in a thing that reads it in, so that they can change the XML, and then it spits it back into an XML file that your game reads in and does the stuff that the game needs to do. So this is the kind of stuff, and this is a competitive advantage that we have over the other people who are in our industry, because we set up a lot of stuff for clients where they don't want to pay us after the fact, because we're expensive. Flash people are expensive. So we set them up with a panel where they can just tweak everything themselves and they don't have to talk to us. But we did such a great job, and they like that so much that they do. They call us up again. It's nice. Ad rev share stinks. Talked about that yesterday. I've got a series on the blog called Pimp My Game. I love pimps. The blog is filled with